To resolve the problem from IRL, we may modify IRL to make it comparable and usable. We call this modified internal rate of returns MIRR. MIRL correctly assumes reinvestment at opportunity cost and avoid the multiple IRL problem. Furthermore, managers like rate of return comparisons rather than dollar comparison, and MIRL is better for this than IRL. There are three approaches to calculate MIRL. First approach is to discount all negative cash flow to the present and use a CF0 called discount approach. For example, then this non-conventional cash flow has negative cash flow in year 0 and 5. So let's compute the present value of 5th year cash flow and add it to CF0. Double click Excel icon and see how to calculate. Discounting approach let's compute the present value of 5th year cash flow and add it to CF0. Calculate the present value of CF0 and add it to CF5 and this add it to the initial cash flow. So present value of rate 5 years PMT0, and the future value is you have to have the consistent sign, so I put negative sign in future value and plus the initial cash flow. Then you have negative $14,551.84. You have same cash flow from year 1 to 4. For year 5 cash flow, we already included as a present values. Then compute the IRL of this cash flow. (23.08% is MIRL using discounting approach. Since this is not non-conventional cash flow anymore, we can trust IRL. It is higher than R, 11%, except if we compute NPV, NPV is actually equals to $3,841.84. It is good, consistent. One thing you need to consider here is MIRL is modified one. So sometimes you may have conflict with NPV. You should calculate NPV all the time to verify your decision. Conflict, follow NPV. Next approach, second one is called reinvestment approach. Let's assume we will reinvest all future cash flows at reinvestment rate, or sometimes discount rate if there's no available reinvestment rate, and add them up in final year. In our example, again, and you have CF0, just initial cost, negative $12,000. And 5th year, so this is just negative. And then you reinvest these year 1 to 4 cash flow up to 5th year using reinvestment rate 8%. Then you can get 5th year cash flow again adding these fifth-year cash flow to. So what you can do is you can calculate each of future value of each cash flow. So rate is, now you have to use reinvestment rate. And your number of the year is, you have 4 years left, PMT 0, and the present value you have to reinvest is 5,800. That is the future value. Second year cash flow, very similar, except this should be 3. Third year cash flow should be 2 years. And fourth year cash flow should have 1 year to compound interest. Then your fifth year cash flow is exactly the same, right? And then you have sum of these 4 and your final cash flow. Then $24,518.64 will be the fifth year cash flow if you reinvest every cash flow in the future. Find the IRRs. You have 15.36%. Make sure that you have 0 cash flow here. So again, this is higher than 11%, which is good. This is consistent with NPV decision. The final one is the combination approach. Just discount every outflow to the present and compound every inflow to the final year. So again, C of 0 will be every negative value of the present values. We have 2 negative values, and sum of the present value of these 2 will be initial cash flow. So you have just the present value of the initial is the same as just present values. And then present value of the last year cash flow here, just the discount rate, and number of years is 5 years, and we don't have any PMT. And then you have future value, and you have to put negative all the time because we need value of the cash flow, not the disruption. Then you have negative $14,551.84 is the initial cash flow. And the final year, we need to have some of these positive future values. We have positive future values here, right? And we already calculate the future values. So we simply calculate sum of these 4. And $28,818.64 will be final. And then you have 0 cash flows from year 1 to 4 and calculate the IRRs. 14.64% will be MIRL, which is again good, higher than 11%. So you can use any MIRL method. In Excel, there's a function called MIRL. It uses the third combination method, combination approach. Just use MIRR, and then the first is the values, so the cash flows. And second one is the discount rate, and third one is reinvestment rate. And then compute, then you have 14.64%, exactly same as manual calculation. So that is how to calculate the modified internal rate of returns. The final measure is the Profitability Index, called PI. It is calculated by numerator, sum of the present values of all future cash flow. So that's the future cash flows. Denominator is absolute value of initial cost. In this example, from 1 to year 5, present values, right, divided by absolute value of the initial cash flow, $30,000. If the present value of the future cash flow is greater than initial cost, which generate positive NPV, PI should be greater than 1. So decision rule is if PI is greater than 1, then accept. Again, double click Excel icon. Profitable index is, numerator is simply NPV of the rate 12% and then 1 to the end, right? You don't have to add it back because this is just 1 to the future one. Divided by absolute value of initial cost, then it will be 1.35. Again, decision is if PI is greater than 1, accept, otherwise reject. Accept. Let's test decision criteria as we did. First, all cash flow considered? Clearly, yes. Second, TVM. Again, yes, right? We use present values. Third, as we saw in NPV and IRL, we can change discount rate to change the level of the risk. The answers, yes again. Fourth, ranking ability, maybe, maybe not. The truth is no. We'll see why soon. Fifth, PI does not show dollars, so the answer is no. Profitable index is very closely related to NPV, generally leading to identical decision. However, it may lead to incorrect decision in comparisons of mutually exclusive projects, investments, because of ranking issues. We have examples of conflict between NPV and PI. The key issue here is the initial cost. The size of initial cost of project A is only 10% of the project B, $10,000 versus $100,000. It means that the PI, which is a fraction, may be higher for smaller projects, but does not generate more cash flows. To maximize shareholders' wealth, we need to maximize cash flows. So follow NPV. Pop quiz 5. Find MIRR using combination method and profitability index of the following cash flows. Required rate of return is 12%. You can use MIRR function of Excel if you want. Find that. let's use Excel. So double click Excel icon. And MIRL, just a function MIRR, the value is 0.25. Second, required return, and third, reinvestment rate, 18.03%. For PI, numerator is NPV of the rate is 12%, and 1 to the end, divided by absolute value of initial cash flow, 1.5. So that these are the answer. Both gives us same decision, except. So when you make a capital budgeting decision, consider all investment criteria. NPV and IRL are the most commonly used primary investment criteria. Payback is a commonly used secondary investment criteria, and all provide valuable information. This is the end of the chapter 8. Just make sure that you can calculate each method. Thank you, and see you in the next chapter.